Welcome back to the channel Liberty Old Coin, where history meets hidden opportunity and small discoveries can turn into big rewards. Today's story is exciting, surprising, and could completely change the way you look at everyday items in your pocket. First up, we are talking about one single coin, the USA 1966 1-cent Liberty coin. This is not a group of coins, not a collection, but one specific coin that carries history, mystery, and serious value potential. The 1966 1-cent coin was issued in the United States during a very important transitional period in American coinage. It features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln from the LincolnCent series, first introduced in 1909. By 1966, the design had already become one of the most recognizable coin designs in the country, symbolizing unity and national pride. This coin belongs to the long-running LincolnCent series, which has been produced for over a century. The 1966 issue came shortly after the U.S. government removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967. This decision was made to discourage collectors from hoarding coins during a nationwide coin shortage. Because of that shortage, the U.S. Mint increased production dramatically. The 1966 LincolnCent was struck in huge numbers, but what makes certain examples incredibly valuable today is not just the mintage. It is condition, rarity in high grades, and special striking characteristics. The coin was made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that classic rich brown or reddish tone that collectors love. Over time, copper coins naturally tone and age, but if you find one in brilliant red uncirculated condition, its value can rise dramatically. Now here is where things get exciting. While millions were produced, very few survive in perfect mint state condition. Coins graded at the very highest levels, especially MS67 red or higher, are extremely rare. When a 1966 LincolnCent reaches that level, collectors compete aggressively to own it. There have been high-grade examples that sold at auction for over $10,000, and premium red specimens with exceptional eye appeal have approached $20,000 in strong market conditions. That is an incredible return for a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. The reason it can reach such a high maximum value is demand. The LincolnCent series is one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States. Millions of collectors try to complete high-grade sets, and when population reports show only a handful in top condition, prices surge. In addition to condition rarity, there are also valuable error varieties from the mid-1960s era. Some 1966 cents have been discovered with doubled die characteristics or striking errors that make them even more desirable. When rare errors combine with high grade, the value can skyrocket. The historical background adds even more appeal. In the 1960s, the United States was facing economic adjustments, rising metal prices, and coin shortages. The government was under pressure to keep enough coins in circulation for daily commerce. That urgency led to massive production runs, but also to occasional striking inconsistencies. Because mint marks were temporarily removed during 1966, collectors cannot rely on a mint letter to distinguish location. That adds a layer of intrigue and uniqueness to every 1966 cent. Each coin feels like a small piece of a dramatic chapter in American monetary history. If you happen to own a 1966 LincolnCent in average circulated condition, it already carries strong collector interest due to its copper composition alone. But if your coin is sharply struck, fully red, and nearly flawless, you could be holding something truly special. Professional grading plays a major role in determining maximum value. When a certified grading company assigns a top-tier grade, the market responds with serious money. That is how a simple 1-cent coin can jump from PocketChange to a 5-figure collectible. Imagine finding a bright red 1966 cent in an old jar, sending it for grading, and discovering it ranks among the finest known examples. That is the kind of story collectors dream about, and it has happened before. Today, strong uncirculated red examples can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on grade, while the absolute finest known pieces have reached up to $20,000 at peak auction performance. That is the kind of maximum potential that makes this single coin so exciting. So yes, this 1966 USA 1-cent Liberty coin can be extremely valuable, especially in top condition. Its history, copper composition, limited top-grade population, and collector demand all combine to create serious price potential. Before you overlook any old pennies, take a closer look. The next time you see a 1966 LincolnCent, remember that one single coin could represent an opportunity worth thousands of dollars. Stay curious, keep searching, and you might just uncover a small treasure hiding in plain sight. Next coin right now, look at the loose change in your pocket, the jar on your nightstand, or the cup holder in your car. You might be holding a piece of history that is significantly more valuable than its 1-cent denomination. Today, we are going to talk about the unassuming 1981 United States LincolnCent, a coin that millions of people dismiss as common pocket change, but one that holds specific secrets that can transform it from a copper token into a collector's prize worth hundreds of dollars. We are going to dive deep into the fascinating world of this coin, uncover its rich history, explore why it is a pivotal piece in American coinage, and most importantly, reveal exactly how much your 1981 penny could be worth right now. To understand the value of the 1981 penny, we first have to understand what it represents in the grand timeline of United States currency. This coin is the final echo of an era. It is the last full year that the US Mint struck Lincoln cents in the traditional bronze composition, which was 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. This might not sound like a big deal, but in the world of numismatics, the end of an era is always significant. The very next year, in 1982, the Mint switched the composition to the copper-plated zinc core that we see in pennies today, primarily because the price of copper had risen so much that the coin was costing more to make than it was worth. So when you hold a 1981 penny, you are holding the last of the old-school American cents, the final vestige of a lineage that stretched back for decades, and this historical context alone adds a layer of allure and collectability that later dates simply do not possess. Now, let's talk about the sheer scale of production, because this is where the story gets interesting and where the hope of finding a fortune in your pocket change is born. The United States Mint was running at full throttle in 1981. The Philadelphia Mint, which strikes coins without a mint mark, produced a staggering 7,491,750,000 of these cents. To put that in perspective, that is nearly 7.5 billion coins with no mint mark, just rolling out to banks and businesses across the nation. Down in Denver, they weren't slowing down either. The Denver Mint, marked with a small d, just below the date, added another 5,373,235,677 coins to the mix. When you add those numbers up, we are talking about nearly 13 billion coins produced for circulation in a single year. This massive mintage is exactly why the average, worn-out 1981 penny you find in your change is only worth 1 cent. There are simply too many of them out there in low grades for them to have any premium value. However, and this is a massive however, that you need to pay close attention to, not all 1981 pennies are created equal. While billions were made, the vast majority of them were used for commerce. They jingled in pockets, got tossed into vending machines, and sat in humid environments. This circulation causes wear. The high points of Lincoln's portrait, like his cheekbone and jaw, start to smooth out. The details on the Lincoln Memorial on the back become mushy and indistinct. The beautiful, original mint luster fades away. So while the mintage numbers are astronomical, the number of coins that survived in pristine, untouched condition is dramatically smaller. The key to value is not the coin in your pocket, but the condition that coin is in. We are searching for the needles in this massive haystack of 13 billion. This brings us to the science of coin grading, which is the absolute foundation of determining value. For the 1981 cent, and especially for these bronze coins, the color is everything. Collectors use 3 terms to describe the surface of a copper coin: red, red-brown, and brown. A coin that is designated as brown, or BN, has completely toned over and lost its original orange-red color. A red-brown, or RB, coin shows traces of the original mint color mixed with toning. But the holy grail is the red, or RD designation. This means the coin has retained 95% or more of its original, brilliant, fiery orange-red mint color. Achieving a red designation on a 44-year-old copper coin is incredibly difficult because copper is a reactive metal. It naturally wants to tone and turn brown over time. A 1981 penny that is still full red is a sign of perfect storage and preservation, and it commands a massive premium. So, let's get down to the numbers that you came here for. What can you actually sell one of these for? If you have a common circulated 1981 penny with a D mint mark or no mint mark that is worn and brown, the harsh reality is that its maximum value is 1 cent. You can spend it at the store, and that is what it is worth. But for the collector, the game changes in the higher mint state grades. For instance, a 1981 D LincolnCent that has been graded by a professional service as Mint State 65, which is a gem uncirculated coin with good eye appeal, will be worth a nice premium over face value. But when you get to the truly elite grades, the value explodes. Let's look at a real-world example that proves the potential of this coin. A 1981 LincolnCent from the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark, was recently certified by the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, as being in Mint State 67 Red, or MS67RD. This is an absolutely superb gem, a coin that is virtually flawless and still retains its original bright copper color. According to the PCGS price guide, the value of this specific coin is listed at $1,531. That is right, a 1981 1-cent coin, made from the same dies as the billions of others, in the right condition, is valued at over $1,500. This is not an anomaly. This is the market reality for top-tier, condition rarity coins. The coin is common in lower grades, but it becomes exceptionally rare and desirable in a perfect, high-grade state. And the potential doesn't stop there. For the absolute peak of what a regular strike 1981 cent can achieve, we look at the highest grades known to exist. An MS67 red coin is phenomenal, but coins that grade even higher, such as MS67 plus red or even MS68 red, are essentially the best in the world for that date. These are the coins that auction houses and serious collectors compete for. While a specific recent auction result for an MS68 is hard to pinpoint, the trajectory is clear. As one numismatic source points out, a notable MS67 red example could attract prices exceeding $500, showing strong demand for top-tier examples. The jump from MS67 to MS68 is exponential in terms of rarity, and therefore, the price would be exponentially higher, potentially thousands of dollars. But wait, there is another path to value that takes us away from the regular strikes and into the fascinating world of mint errors. The 1981 is a fantastic year for error coins, and this is where a coin can be worth a fortune even if it isn't perfectly preserved. We have to talk about the wrong planchet errors. Imagine the USMint in Denver running at full speed. Somehow a planchet, which is the blank metal disc meant for a dime, gets mixed in with the penny planchets and is fed into the coining press. The result is a 1981 D LincolnCent that is struck on a dime blank. This coin is the wrong size, the wrong weight, and entirely accidental. One such coin, a 1981 D LincolnCent struck on a 10-cent blank and certified in Mint State 65 by the Numismatic Guarantee Company, is a highly coveted collector's item. These errors are incredibly rare because they represent a total failure in the quality control process, and collectors pay handsomely for them. Now, if you want to talk about the absolute pinnacle of 1981 LincolnCent value, the kind of coin that makes headlines and is the stuff of legend, we have to look at a specific error that sold for an astronomical price. There is a coin known as the 1981 LincolnCent that was struck 70% off-center on a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. Think about the magnitude of that error. This isn't just a penny on the wrong planchet. It is a penny die striking a previously struck dollar coin. The result is a massive, bizarre, and unique piece of numismatic history. This coin, which is a dual-dated double denomination, was certified and sold by a major error coin dealer. While the exact sale price isn't listed on the page, the description calls it world-class and unique. Coins of this caliber, with such a dramatic and one-of-a-kind error, sell for 5 figures or more, easily tens of thousands of dollars. Second coin 1983 USA 1-cent Liberty coin, also known as the 1983 LincolnMemorialCent, is one of those coins that looks ordinary at first, but has captured huge attention and growing demand from collectors all around the world because of its fascinating history and rare varieties. OldCoinOnline.com. When this coin was made, the United States was facing rising metal costs and financial pressures that forced the US Mint to reconsider how pennies were produced. Before 1982, pennies were mostly copper, but by 1983 most were made with a zinc core and a thin copper plating to reduce expense. It was a pivotal transitional year in U.S. coin history, marking a dramatic shift in composition and production that would change the look and feel of pennies for decades. OldCoinOnline.com. Ordinary 1983 cents were minted in massive quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, with billions entering circulation. Because so many were made, most examples you find in PocketChange are just worth their face value, unless, that is, you happen to have one of the rare exceptions. OldCoinOnline.com. Collectors and dealers all over the world are constantly on the lookout for extraordinary specimens of this coin because of the rare minted errors and special variations that can turn a humble penny into a treasure. These include double die reverses, off-center strikes, and most famously, coins struck on the wrong planchet. OldCoinOnline.com +1. The most sought-after 1983 penny buyers are serious numismatists and investors. These are people who understand rarity, condition, and historical importance, and they compete at auctions and private sales to obtain the best examples. The collector market for U.S. coins is huge, and demand for rare modern coins like this one has grown significantly in recent years as more people discover the thrill of finding something potentially valuable in everyday change. Coin-identifier.com. History buffs appreciate the story behind the 1983 cent because it represents a dramatic response to economic forces outside the mint's control. Cutting back on copper was controversial and significant, and it makes coins from this period inherently more interesting. The transitional nature of this year's production has made it one of the most studied and valued among modern LincolnCents. CoinValueChecker.com. If your 1983 cent is in fantastic, uncirculated condition with brilliant red color and sharp strike, it already stands out from nearly every penny in circulation. Collectors prize coins like this, and even without errors, high-grade examples command real money on the market because of scarcity in premium condition. Pennyverse.info. Then there are the exciting error varieties. The double die reverse variety from 1983 is a standout that collectors actively seek, and strong examples in high grade have sold for amounts far beyond what most ordinary coins ever achieve. Coin-identifier.com. But the most thrilling discovery for many coin hunters is finding a genuine 1983 bronze, copper, cent. These coins should not exist because the mint had already switched to zinc planchets. If a leftover copper planchet was accidentally struck, the result is a coin that is centuries old in design but unique in composition. MyFAIRTiratalady.com. These bronze 1983 cents are incredibly rare, with only a handful ever confirmed by experts. They have appeared at auctions selling for eye-popping sums, far beyond what ordinary cents ever reach, because the scarcity and desirability among collectors drives intense bidding battles. NASDAQ. The current value of a regular circulated 1983 cent might be face value, but in uncirculated grades, especially certified by top grading companies, values can jump into the triple figures or more. Very high-grade examples of common varieties have sold for thousands or more, showing that condition still matters immensely. Pennyverse.info. Now imagine finding one of those rare double die reverse coins in pristine condition. Those coins have brought extraordinary prices at auction, with top-graded pieces achieving values that would make anyone who found one in their pocket extremely excited. Coino. And then there is the record-breaking sale that makes every coin enthusiast dream. A 1983 bronze cent certified in high grade has sold at auction for nearly $29,000 in recent years. That sale shows what the absolute peak collectible premium can reach for a genuine rarity. NASDAQ. Because of these dramatic sales and enthusiastic collectors around the world, people genuinely want to buy the best examples of this coin, especially those with rare attributes and beautiful preservation. Serious buyers include dedicated coin collectors, investors, and auction houses that specialize in rare U.S. coins. Coin-identifier.com. This rising demand means that more people are checking their spare change, rolls of pennies from banks, and old coin collections for unsuspected treasures. Every ordinary purse or jar of pennies could hide something special, and that's part of the thrill that keeps people engaged. Coin-identifier.com. For the average person who isn't a coin collector yet, understanding the history and the extraordinary sale prices of top examples is a powerful motivator. What was once merely a tiny metal disc used every day suddenly becomes a piece of American history and potential financial reward. CoinValueChecker.com. So when someone asks, Is the value really high? The answer is an enthusiastic yes for the right coin. Ordinary 1983 cents might still be common, but rare varieties and exceptional condition examples have true value that far exceeds ordinary expectations. Pennyverse.info. Collectors around the globe are continually seeking these coins because they represent a blend of American history, craftsmanship errors, and scarcity that only comes around once in a lifetime. Serious buyers won't hesitate to pay premium prices for the best examples they can find. Coin-identifier.com. In the end, what truly fuels the value of this 1-cent coin from 1983 is its story, its rarity in special forms, and the passionate market of collectors who turn ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. NASDAQ. If you think you might have an interesting 1983 cent in your hands, don't overlook it. A professional evaluation could reveal something that changes its worth from pocket change to a remarkable collectible.